Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow.
Susie, would you like to ask the first question?
Sure. Hi.
Ish.
Hi.
There you go. Sorry.
Mid-trippers.
As an artist, what is the most rewarding experience you have had and what made it so?
Artists. That's a tough question. I'm usually not stumped.
Sorry.
Can I have a cup of tea?
Yeah, there you go.
Need some caffeine. But
Already finished all mine. It was delicious.
This is almost gone.
Zuzu hot tea. Honestly, I think it's working with the bands because the songs are they're sort of like a picture. It's like the snapshots of my life, and even like recently we were playing some machine material.
Yeah.
It's very much a snapshot of the end of the band, at least that. And it takes me, those songs take me right back to the sights and smells of the time. So, but I think the thing that really endures is the relationships or the experiences in those relationships, even the ones that didn't turn out the way I would have liked. I mean, we've all had failed love affairs.
It happens.
But honestly, it's really working together. I mean, I think, I don't know how to speak for anybody, but playing music is really the result of the relationships, not the other way. And I think I appreciate that more now as I've gotten older and I can look back. Than when I was younger, it was always like, in my mind it was like, music was here, ambition was here, and the relationships were here. And now I realize that it was those relationships that made everything possible. Even my friendship with Jimmy Chamberlain, I mean, the things that we were able to do together, just the insanity of pushing one another to a higher place. I mean, that's the relationship. That wasn't the music. And the trust. Like even when Mike joined the band, I said to him, because I think I was being hard about something, and I apologized and said, you don't realize this, but Jimmy used to let me change things and try this. It's like we had a relationship where he trusted me so much I could say, can you play a sound that I down and play this crazy thing? He'd go, okay. Because he trusted that what I was trying to do was about the music and the song and not ever to embarrass him or put him in an awkward position. But I realized that I had built that relationship with Mike. So it's taking time to where we have that trust where I can, just because I had it with somebody else doesn't mean I can turn around and say, oh, well, that's the way it should be. And those are the types of things I had to realize and come to appreciate. Because you can sit in the studio all day alone, but it's really not that fun.
Nick, you want to ask your question?
Yeah. I was just wondering how you channel your emotions into songwriting, per se, or into a song, I guess.
You mean how do you, or how did I? If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Either or. How did you?
Honestly, I'm really surprised by if I just sit down in the empty space of the morning and say, okay, whatever's going to happen. I mean, the other day I sat down and I was in the mood to write a song and I started playing a country song.
Yeah.
And is it the greatest song ever? No.
It might be.
Will anybody ever hear it? Maybe not. But the point is that was what I was feeling. And so for me, it was more, it's learning how to honor whatever that is. Because when I was younger, when the country song would come out, I go, oh, this ain't going to sell any fucking records, and I ain't going to get this on MTV, and I try to kind of squash. But what I really was doing was sort of disrespecting the feeling that was coming out of me. And so many of the songs that people would recognize, it wasn't like when I sat down and wrote Today or 1979 or pick your song. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm going to write that type of song. My mind was empty.
Yeah.
And whatever that came out was, so to me, it's not trying to identify what you feel, it's letting what you feel happen. And I think that's what a lot of artists struggle with is what our inner voice says artistically is oftentimes not who we want to be. Like when I first started singing, I wished I could sing like Robert Smith or Robert Plant or Andrew Eldridge from Sisters of Mercy, or I wanted my voice to be different than it was, and it just wasn't. And now at 46, I realize it's probably the greatest gift I ever had. To have a voice that my nephew can hear on the radio and go, "That's Uncle Billy."
Yeah.
When they're just listening to the radio. I mean, that's pretty crazy when a little kid can go, "That's Uncle Billy." So, but when I was young, I was like, why isn't it like this, or why? So it's letting those things happen. So it's more of a process of acceptance, I think. Because a lot of times the stuff I write, I don't personally necessarily like it, or even appreciate it. Like even the song we just played, "Ugly." I didn't really appreciate that song at the time. Now I can look back, whatever, 16, 17 years later, and go, wow, it's a pretty good song. The lyrics are actually fairly accurate to the way that I felt. It's a much better song than I thought when I wrote it. At least from my perspective today. But at the time I was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, I just tossed it aside. So that's what I'm saying. But at least I let it happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
Mark, do you want to ask your question?
Hi guys, thank you so much for coming and for the tea.
Oh, thank you.
It's delicious. And so I've probably got a little buzz on it, so I'll try to get the question out.
Are you drinking the
Stimulus.
Oh yeah, it's triple caffeine.
Good stuff. So the show will keep me going. That's going to be awesome. Then I'll crash hard. But yeah, the question I have is, you guys have always done such a great job about staying, contemporary and current and, moving forward. I mean, if I go to buy a Smashing Pumpkins album or a Billy Corgan project or whatever, I know I'm going to get something that is current.
Right.
And it's not necessarily looking backwards, and I notice oftentimes there's a lot of folks that would rather, say, okay, well, I want to live in 1990, 1995. But what's your, and a lot of your fans really do appreciate, the real fans like that you're going to continue to put out that product that we know is different and new. So what keeps inspiring you to keep staying contemporary and moving forward to the future with the Smashing Pumpkins or whatever it is that you want to be doing? And we're with you as an addendum to that.
What's the last part?
We're with you as an addendum to that statement. We can't wait for what's next.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we're excited about the future. As far as the inspiration part, I'd say it's kind of a weird thing is I can't go back.
Yeah.
I just don't have it in me. I'm like if anybody here is a voracious reader. Anyone here a voracious reader?
Sure.
Okay. I'm a voracious reader. Like when I get into a book, I can't stop reading, right? Well, it's the same thing with music. I get into a musical kind of movement, like let's say a period, like the Adore period or Future Embrace period. I get into that and I totally get into it, and when I'm done, I'm like, next.
Done.
I'm over it. That's probably the hardest thing for me with the live stuff because I just emotionally don't inhabit those spaces anymore. So I have to find something else. At this point, like when we play a song that people like David or something, it's more about I appreciate other people appreciating me, but it's not coming from me because I'm just not that guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I was even that guy in the time. And what I've tried to say sometimes is more like an actor inhabiting a part. Like De Niro gaining 50 pounds for Raging Bull and, getting totally into Jake LaMotta. That's how I feel. I go totally into the character. And I've even had band members turn around later and go, man, I couldn't really deal with you in that. And I go, don't you understand? I was like kind of playing a character. And they're next to me every day. They don't even realize that I'm inhabiting kind of character. But secondarily, if you're in the time you're in, it's poor English, but if you're in the time you're in, you can't help but sort of pick up something, right? And the motivational factors that existed in 1988, which were let's kill hair metal. So sick. I remember watching MTV in '87 going, if I see one more fucking power ballad, a dude who looks like a chick, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. I mean, that was a personal thought I had long before the rock and roll revolution, right? Then in the 90s, and you saw it happen with many bands, once the money kicked in and all of MTV kicked in, then everybody started pushing each other out of the way and it got bitchy, and then it became about who's the alpha male or who's the male to female, right? So what would motivate me today, right? I cannot believe, and I say this with all humility, I cannot believe that the style of music that we play is actually contemporary, because it shouldn't be.
It's yours.
It actually
It's yours.
Well, hear what I'm saying first as a subtext. Rock and roll music is played on guitar has not evolved really in any form or fashion in about 15 to 20 years, depending on who you talk to. Okay. So it says a lot about our culture that we kind of froze somewhere along the line of this is the guitar sound, this is the vocal approach, right? It really hasn't evolved. And it so hasn't evolved that pop music has actually come along, stolen all the moves, and you can hear pop singers doing all the moves that would have been popular in grunge 15 years before. I mean, it's just, so it's stalled. And it's stalled